I don't know what they're doing. Sorry, I live in the poor part of town where there's airplanes flying over all the time.
You don't feel. It doesn't feel like you want to do the show today. I'm not going to lie to you, Brad. Your
He's
energy
just
is
rubbing
not
his
good.
eyes.
Your energy is not good today.
I forgot where I wanted to start. I had something I wanted to tell y'all. Why would you say that? My energy was fine. You and I were having a fine conversation before this.
Yeah, but something switched. Did your internet go off again? I saw you look down. Something happened. You're just not focused. Your head's not in the game.
I couldn't figure out why the music quit.
Well, turn it back on.
I was trying to do that, and it distracted me from starting on my original point. You also mouth banging whatever mukbang you have for breakfast is also distracting me. We won't go there, though. You called me out, so that's the only reason I'm bringing it up. I messed up the donut run today, guys. I don't even know how that's possible. You would think it's not like it's a drive-through. It's not like you don't see them putting together the order. I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm out of sorts. The donut run got messed up.
Are you starting to feel the effects of perimenopause?
Oh, brother.
Whether directly or indirectly. Did you go to Shipley's?
I did.
Stop going there.
I've been told that, well, first of all, I grew up kind of as a Shipley's fan, so I want to dive into that more because I haven't had it in 30 years. But I've been told if you were, as an adult, at a donut shop and you watched the donuts get taken by hand from a case to a bag and somehow they were the wrong donuts, even though you watched every one of them, it's perimenopause's fault. So I'm just asking, is that what you're suffering from?
Oh, dear.
Jesus Christ.
That one hits close to home.
My man came out and said, I got your nuke codes right here. Well, speaking of nuke codes, did you guys ever hear about this show, Paradise?
Yeah, I've watched every episode of The Paradise.
That was the one with where Hulk Hogan had the boat.
No, y'all both watched Paradise, and then I watched it much, much later.
Oh, the one with the guy from Friday Night Lights, the real generic white dude. But he was good in this movie, right?
It
was, no,
they're in Florida.
Show.
No, not even close. Rylan?
The bunker after the world goes to hell.
Oh, I definitely didn't watch it.
Yeah, I don't know why you thought he watched it.
Why would you guys brought it up and I hadn't watched it? Okay, I'm sorry. I made a joke about Rylan using the nuke codes because he's obviously launching bombs at his wife. It's straight us from our point.
I'm just going off stories I'm hearing.
Fair enough. Say his wife.
Things stories. I'm seeing in the scrolling.
Okay, my bad. Shout out to everybody dealing with perimenopause. It does not sound like it's a fun trip. I went to the donut store and messed up the donut run, and you would be like, how's that possible? We started off on the wrong note. They didn't have my guy's regular blueberry cake donut. They only had the blueberry iced cake donut. So right there, then I've only been doing the same order for like 17 years now. I don't know. I made the mistake of walking over to the cooler to grab the orange juice. Okay, you want some juice, honey? You want some juice? I made the mistake of doing that after I said, and 12 chocolate donut holes, and the guy grabbed regular donut holes, but I'm in the blind because I'm going to get the juice, honey.
Yeah, you can't be blamed for this. That's not your fault.
So I come home.
You trusted them with one. You gave the guy one thing to do independently, and he didn't do it. So
he had one job.
I don't blame you at all, man. I don't blame you at all.
And it's only again, he's probably like the second guy in the rotation, but he's taking the same damn order. And I know there's no reason to remember somebody's donut order. He sees 100 people an hour. I get it. But my guy, I get home, he opens the bag. He was like, oh, these aren't for me. And he sets them back down. And I said, excuse me. And he goes, these aren't for me. And I look down, it's 12 glazed donut holes. And I was like, my bad, bud. I think when I was going to get the juice, honey, and then I didn't see him and he didn't hear me correctly. And then I didn't check. Who checks a donut order? Have you ever in your life checked a donut order? It's not like you're going to McDonald's and asking for plain cheeseburgers, and you got to make sure the whatever Hall of Fame GED person back there heard everything.
Hey, easy.
Hey, fuck that guy. You know
easy.
what? Fuck. Because of how many times it's been messed up, fuck every McDonald's employee ever. Fuck them all. I don't care if you made good of your life. I don't care if you were a freaking horrible degenerate and then fucking Ronald McDonald saved your life and now you're an assistant manager who gets to travel to fucking Branson once a year because you got paid vacation time. Great. You're a fucking miserable human being.
Brad's views do not represent the views of this entire podcast. I support every McDonald's worker. By the way,
company, how many times can they mess something up as a company? And I know it's my fault for keeping going, but that's what they fucking like. That's what they McDonald's. We haven't had that in 2 weeks. That's what they
for the record
like.
I don't check an order at any place I ever go.
Oh, I bring something home over here with pickles and mustard on it, or the faint, or like they took the ass of a pickle and just gave it a little ass pickle waving.
Waved a pickle over it. Someone's gonna complain.
And somebody's gonna. I can't eat it.
If I go to McDonald's, it's Jesus take the wheel.
I can't eat it.
I'll take whatever they give me.
Same.
But
I'll eat whatever. I don't have any bigger versions, so I'm speaking from a position of taste bud privilege. Do you guys check the eggs in the carton before you grab the eggs?
Yeah, I do that, but I don't know if there's any reason to do that, but I do.
105% of the time, yeah.
I'd never done it ever until the first time I saw Courtney do it when we were probably dating. I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Checking the eggs." I'm like, "Oh, okay." But I'd spent an egg-loving, grocery store-loving, obviously, life up to that point into my mid-20s, never having come home to find a broken egg. And now when I check them, about 10, 12% of the time, I see a broken egg.
Yeah. That was
20 years or however long it's been.
That routine, that process is 100% driven by the person that did it the first time meaning there's no handbook for checking the eggs. That's not something that comes naturally. That's not part of an evolutionary sort of adjustment to human behavior.
This guy wired naturally to check the eggs when coming.
Human dads. 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 Human dads.
9:17.
Human dads. Podcast.
9 a.m. on a Sunday.
Human dads.
Once again,
Human dads.
Podcast.
Human dads. Podcast. Human dads. Podcast. Human dads. Get up off your ass.
Oh your mom. 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 Tell your mom to listen. Tell your mom to listen. Tell your mom to listen. Tell your mom to listen.
Get up off your ass for the Human Dads Podcast.
Like to apologize sincerely to my fans.
No, I think, for a while you were titling the episodes with a quip or a tagline from the episode, and I think "Wired to Check the Eggs" it's enough of a head scratcher that it might cause people to click.
Rylan said first time he checked the eggs, or he knew somebody that he knew he could do that, was because he was going to the grocery store with Courtney, and it gave me
about it before. Yeah.
Give me one of my high thoughts. Some people's version of heaven is like you get to heaven and you get to do a life retrospective or whatever, or like some of I think Jason has watched the show Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Where you remember the episode where you can kind of live in your memories.
Mm-hmm.
I have this high thought that so take those two versions of whatever this is, right? Either this dystopic state where we can implant the chip in our brain and then relive every single cataloged memory, like pretty easily to where you're just clicking a button, Rylan. If you haven't seen the episode, I doubt you have. Or you get to quote unquote heaven and they sit down with like some NFL assistant who's fresh out of Dartmouth and is really good with video, and he'll just pull the clips. Like you like after you get your review or whatever and they give you a GT or an RT, you just get to sit there with the film guy and say, hey, can we pull the clips? Right. So one of those, like, we're just being able to catalog memories. And I think, and it triggered just now when Rylan said the first time with the eggs, I wish I could catalog like the first time for everything. And I don't mean like in the corny, like the big first time, oh, I did this with a girl. I mean like the first, like I wish I could catalog my life and be like, the first time I went to that grocery store, pull it up. Just that first time. The first time I made a left-hand turn to get onto this highway right here and had to merge in, like, just pull it up. I just want to see it. The first time.
Sounds boring.
Is that? Is that weird? Or is that?
No, it would be funny. I think it'd be really funny to watch yourself sort of try to navigate some of the things that are just so natural to you now with that very first time.
Because or the other part of it too is I'm just so far I couldn't even put you, I think, in a 2 or 3 year period of the first time I bought eggs on my own. I don't know. Could be 18, could be 26. I don't know. I'm with you. But I know for sure that the only reason that I checked the eggs is because I saw my mom check the eggs when I was younger walking through the grocery store. I have no
clue.
So
it was the most natural thing in the world when I did it myself.
I have no clue where I picked up the behavior. No clue. Yours makes as good a sense as any, that I probably got it from a parent while shopping with them. I have no clue. Just feel like it's always been there.
It's the only two things in the grocery store that you like physically evaluate before you buy, at least in my experience, is produce and egg. That's it. Nothing else either gives you the option to evaluate because it's packaged, right? Or you're not going to learn enough by looking at it, like the beef, probably. Like maybe the color, but you're not getting in there and like really, really looking at it. So I think
I look at the beef though. If I'm buying something, I'll look. And
it's still packaged though.
It is, and you can't really get a full look. Like, you could get right up to the tip of your nose with the eggs. I get that. But I'll examine dates on beef, and I will look for, is it fatty or is it not, or is the package starting to get a little bulbous to let you know that some bacteria growth has started to happen. I'll do that.
But your produce, you're picking it up and you're feeling it and you're touching it, squeezing it and sniffing it and rubbing it on your balls sometimes, like just to really get to get a good idea.
Do it once. You like that? You like that? Just pick up an avocado and just, you like that?
What do you think about that? Huh?
What do you think about that? What do you think about that? And would get the cops called.
Yeah, that one sounds.
Talk
If you
to
were
me.
ever
that's the one that'll get the cops called.
If you were ever LARPing coitus and you asked a fellow participant, what do you think about that? The cops would be called.
It's too verbose. It's like verbose, but also very straightforward language.
Yeah, too formal. It's too formal.
Yeah, but it's also very straightforward. Like it's just very, it's too direct. It's too many words and it's too direct. I can't.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right. Kind of feels.
What do you think?
Kind of feels like a little Leaving Neverlandy.
Yeah. But you know that like everything like that. Like, how do you test a mango? When do you tell whether or not the avocado is ripe? All that stuff somebody had to teach you in the grocery store.
Okay, I agree with you, but about 75% of people are just performing the task. They got no clue what the hell they're doing.
Yeah,
or at least not a great idea. They see people do it and they're like, oh, I think I can figure that out, but they don't know what they're actually looking for.
Yeah. When you think about it, that's all we're all doing. That's what we're all mostly doing. It's just performing being a person. Like I
Yeah.
kind of saw somebody do this. I know smart people say that you should do this, and here's how, and here's what to make sense of it. So I'm just trying to navigate my way into seeing other people do stuff. So I'm going to do it the way they've done it, and then I'm going to try to listen to smart people who have told me what I'm supposed to be doing, what I'm supposed to be. Nobody has any clue. Nobody has any clue. They're performing the concept of what you think you're supposed to be doing when you're molesting fruit.
I would just argue that, and this is the way I feel as I get older, that all of that stuff, all that sort of performative, maybe it's not whatever, like all that sort of investigating your fruit or checking for freshness, or the difference between the absolute best option and the absolute worst option. Let's cut out both sides, right? Let's cut out the worst and cut out the best. The other options are so close together that it's just not worth my time. So when I walk up to a thing of avocados, I might grab it and look at it for a second, but I'm not over there like doing the pressure test or looking at the very end of the stem to see if it's fallen off yet. I don't grab the mango and I don't look at the watermelon for the yellow. I don't do any of that.
The process also implies, though, that you're doing like the scientific method and you're making notes of the experience once you get home and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the implication. Like you're feeling it out and you're collecting your data right now. And this is what it felt like in the store. And then when I got home and I cut it open, here's how it felt. And so that was an enjoyable experience. I will process. I will make my conclusion, and then I will act in the same way the next. That's not happening. That's not happening. I just don't think people are doing that. I think it's largely a performance. Unless you're like a 68-year-old grandma, you know, maybe.
One of the things I do check, just a very quick story here, but I've been meaning to tell you guys about this because it kind of fucked me up. What I do check is expiration dates, right? Like I'll look at the milk and see how much time I have with that milk. I want to make sure that we have good quality time together, that I'm able to get it all down my throat between now and the end of that date. I don't like the...
So what's the longest you're going to go? Like you want a month, or are you like, yeah, 5 days, no problem. We'll mow through this.
I don't think you'll ever get a month. I think I would like 2 weeks with that milk.
Okay.
So Rylan knows what I'm talking about. So you want a good 2 weeks?
No, Rylan wants milk that probably says 2 months. They don't drink that much milk, and so he wants it to last. He needs a bigger window. Whereas if it was literally measured in hours on the bottles that I buy, if it's at 76 hours, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. No big deal.
You're fine. You know it's gone.
Yeah.
Well,
we drink milk the way people drink hazy IPAs in this house. Like,
yeah,
super fresh. It's gone as soon as it lands. Like, yeah.
One of the things that was purchased, not by me, but was purchased at my house, was this little tub of the potato salad. I'm not talking about the one that is like a brand name that's packaged somewhere in Virginia and shipped out to Kroger or Albertsons or Tom Thumb.
I'm talking about the one they say they make in store.
The brand, yes, the Kroger brand or the Albertsons brand that's sitting there right by the deli and has presumably been packaged and made in store. Okay. That, because they don't have the ability to preserve as nicely as some of these big brand names do, the expiration happens more quickly than the others.
Oh,
and so
sure.
I wasn't thinking about that. And one day I was kind of hungry and I walked into the kitchen. I wasn't hungry enough to make a full meal, but I'm like, you know what? I could just grab a little something. And I was about to walk out the door and I saw the potato salad there, unopened, the seal had not been broken yet. By the way, what's with those seals that they use on those? It's got like the clicker, the little rectangle clicker that you break down, and then the top opens up. Have you seen these? You
can't tell front from back. It's a they,
yes.
them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't know where you're going with this thing. You don't know which side to address, where to pull, where to push. Yeah, I mean, it's a confusing apparatus, to say the least.
When did that happen? But cracked that sucker open, and I got kind of a decent right out of the tub. By the way, I was taking a bite right out of the tub. All I wanted probably was one bite. and for the record, I'm probably the only person in the house that would eat that. Took a fork of the potato salad. In hindsight, I looked at the texture was not right with the texture, guys.
Okay.
It was just a little too solid.
Did it start to get into chalky? Because I don't think you ever want to have a situation where you're eating a chalky potato salad.
It was just solid. Like it didn't. Typically, you like to see some space in between the potato chunks and the liquid, and this one was loaded, so there's probably some bacon in there and some cheese and the whatnot. So you like to see a little distance, a little space in between. You know, you want to be able to put your fork in there and you can see the individual parts moving. You know what I'm saying, Rylan? You want to see the individual parts moving.
This sounds more like you got a bad batch than you got something expired, because as it gets older, it's going to get more watery.
I would think so too, but
Yeah.
I took a bite,
I've had
and
it
when
get old in the fridge, and it gets a little watery, and it's kind of just doesn't taste fresh anymore, and you throw it out.
well, when I took
did.
the bite, and it wasn't offensive, but it was totally muted. Like it could have been a mouthful of styrofoam or rice cakes or anything. I just almost couldn't taste any flavor from it, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of weird."
You got bad batched. You got a new employee or whatever. Maybe they really do. Maybe that proves they really do make it there.
Well, I took another bite, and that second bite did have a little bit of a different flavor, and I spit it out. It had been expired for 5 days.
Yeah. You started to get some potato salad trying to make its own new world. That's what you got there. Is the nascent beginnings of a new earth.
So I have not had food poisoning in probably 8 years.
Okay.
And the last time I had it was Ricky's Hot Chicken out there on Beltline. I don't know if it's even still there by the Alamo Draft House. Did that go away?
Definitely still there, and it did not open 8 years ago.
Had to be.
No, bro. I think that is a COVID baby.
No. Well, that's 6 years ago, Brad. So it's not like I'm that far off.
Sure. It's
So
fair.
we'll call it 6-7 years ago. And when I had it when it had just opened, it was still very new when I ate it, and I got very sick.
Yeah.
But I'm terrified of getting food poisoning after that experience. And so the rest of the day, I was just waiting for that potato salad. I was waiting. I knew it had made its way down the stomach. And what I thought about, and I was like, I need to ask you guys what you would do. Let's just say that you took a bite of something from your fridge that you were sure was spoiled. 100% absolutely spoiled. You took a full bite, you swallowed it down. Probably not life-threatening, but potentially could make you very, very sick. Would you make yourself on?
Absolutely not. I shared with you guys the sushi story, where I went to the sushi, the grocery store sushi, and I had the first piece, and I was like, that's a little, whatever. Maybe it's just me. Second piece, not good. Had to go back for the third piece, and then didn't have a full blown, food poisoning situation, but did have some, let's just say some troubling digestion results. Okay.
You had a lot of diarrhea.
Maybe something along those lines. And a lot is subjective, but I don't think that particular time would make if we're doing the review, if we're doing the film clip review with the Mike McDaniel.
That's not your top 10 of diarrheas?
I don't even top 10. I don't even think it's making the film cut, but it was,
wow.
It was unenjoyable enough to hit the radar. Okay. But secondly, I would think 2 bites. I would have to think it was so spoiled at taking in 2 bites that if I was going to worry about it, I don't. The thing I'm saying is it would have to be so bad for me to be worried about 2 bites that I wouldn't have made it to the second bite. You know what I'm saying? That's how bad it would have to be that only 1 bite would register. And at that point, I'd be like, well, good thing I only just got 1 bite of that. But that it was in between enough for you to get 2 bites, I wouldn't worry about it.
What about you, Rye? Would you ever force yourself to vomit?
I don't know if I could.
Mm.
I
Oh,
don't know. As the crow flies, I don't know. I don't know if I've got that in me. I've never really had to try. I was kind of a vom and get it over with type of guy in the first, week of athletics. Some school years, you know how you
Yeah.
the first couple of workouts hit you harder than everything else, or maybe track and field season in middle school, middle of the year, same phenomenon. Like I'm not afraid of the vom like some people are. Like the rest of my family, I think they would rather die than vomit. Like if they were
Yeah.
given to choose
I'm
one
like
or the
that.
other. I'm not
like
like
that.
that, but I don't think I could. I don't think I could make myself do it just out of pure with nothing. If the motor in down there isn't already trying to do it, I don't think I could do it.
I think I'm with Rye. I'd have to like really physically exert myself or go take in about 6 ounces of vodka real quick just to see what happens.
Have you never stuck your finger down your throat to force the gag reflex and the vomit?
Real quick, the tone you used just now was that that's a common course of action with your human body. And I would tell you that 66% of the show is going to go ahead and completely disagree with you because that has never once
Correct.
occurred to me as what I would perceive a fairly regular human being on the North American continent in the state of Texas in the nation of America, Dallas County for most of my life, but here and there throughout Collin and otherwise. It has never once been not only something that I would consider just a regular course of things like, oh, we have to do this today.
Yeah. You are in the minority. You may not be in the minority today, but you are in the minority of the world because sticking your finger down your throat to force a vomit is a very common,
Buddy,
a
we're going to
very common scenario.
We're going to have to revisit some glossed over trauma on your side.
That's
that
a
allowed
normal thing.
That allowed you to get into that mindset with that frame of reference as quote
You're
unquote
dumb.
Normal.
You're dumb.
Let's
dumb.
Normal in context. Normal in. I'm not saying it's a
Daniel Heaven video review clip.
It's
and
not
we
a
are going
daily
to-
occurrence, but when you need to vomit and your body is not willing to cooperate, putting your finger down your throat to force
Then you
it
don't
is
need to.
absolutely a thing.
Do you hear what you just said?
Have you never been nauseous to the point where you want nothing more in this world to throw up and you can't? Have you never been in that position?
Rylan highlighted a distinction on this show one time that I thought was brilliant. Okay, let's review the clip. Insert it right here. Rylan said something to the extent or something to the I'm paraphrasing. Okay, paraphrasing. Just because something makes you uncomfortable does not mean it's illegal. And we've taken the two words and we've made them the same thing for a lot of people. I'm uncomfortable. That's illegal. They're the same thing. I would tell you nauseous and needing to vomit are not the same thing.
You got to. There's a point where you have to decide if it's time.
No, listen to me.
Unless it just gets you on its own, which, as we all know,
there is very often an immediate solution to an escalating nausea situation. It's not a pill. It's not a pill. It's not a maneuver. The solution to the escalating nausea. Do you know what it is? It's vomit.
Okay. I'm going to steal from another podcast. Okay. Our good friends, Jake Kemp and TC Fleming.
You guys are so wrong on this.
Okay. They refer to something as something they thought was going to be a much bigger part of life when they were children. And then they'll tell you what that was. So like for a lot of us, we all were very afraid of quicksand. If you came up around our age, like we thought quicksand was, and like, tell me right now where you're ever going to encounter quicksand, right?
That's the example. It was prevalent in the media directed towards young people.
On a more serious note, like because of a lot of the quote unquote news shows or news-esque shows, we all thought kidnapping was like a huge thing as we were coming up, right? But the data would suggest that it was only improving as we grew up. But I think where you got into the idea that this is all regular is that when I look back and I think about one thing that I thought would be a bigger part of like adult life, I thought that the stomach pumping thing was like just a regular.
This is Richard Gere, or no? This was
But
Rod
just like-
Stewart.
Yeah, but there was just a number of those things where you're like, did you hear they had to get their stomach
had to get
pumped? Like,
Yeah, they ate a bunch of aspirin and had to get their stomach
Yeah.
pumped. Yeah,
I want you
stomach
both-
pumping was just
I'll
and
settle
Jace
this.
took that though, right? Jace
No.
took that and turned it into
It's not even
well,
close.
we don't have money to go to the hospital. I'm
think
gonna
I
have
can-
to figure out a way to do it at the house.
I think I can mediate this. I think that Jason is correct in that that is the conventional wisdom that everyone kind of walks around with. But I think he's incorrect in that a lot of people have actually done it.
I think he's.
I want you to do something right now.
He's acting like everybody goes around like they just ate fresh mushrooms out of the ground, and now they're thinking about what their next 6 years
No,
of their
it's
life are
not
gonna
like
be like.
it's not something that you would do annually. I'm saying that like multiple times in a lifetime, you have been in a situation, maybe 2, maybe 3, where you needed to use this technique, this maneuver. Both of you text your wife right now while we're on the show, and here's what I want you to ask: have you ever stuck your finger down your throat to vomit, or have you thought about doing it?
I think that goes into a whole different zone
Oh.
as it pertains
Oh.
to women from our generation.
Someone's nervous about having to do that because I think his radical worldview is going to be challenged, and he's not ready for that.
I'm trying to support eating disorder victims right now, which
I
I'm
think
not.
that's another thing that was more prevalent in the media. I think that was slightly more prevalent than quicksand.
Which I'm not here to say anything about my wife by any means, but I just think that there were like it's looked at as like a phase for, like Ryland's saying, like it felt like it was everywhere when we were in high
Everywhere
school.
in the 80s and 90s.
So you're saying that they did it?
I think
Yeah,
that
but that's
Gen
not-
X,
that was-
I think that Gen X kind of killed eating disorders as we grew up. I mean, I know they're
Jason,
out
we're
there.
talking about people
not
with
in the
labeled
zeitgeist
diseases.
anymore.
But I'm suggesting that even without an eating disorder, this is a common.
I think
A
the way
c- a
you're
c-
viewing this is so Oregon Trail like behavior
You're
where
crazy.
somebody ate some berries off the side of camp that night and we're not from this area, but the guide says those berries are bad. Now we got to go figure out how to do it.
No, Ryland, tell us what Courtney says when you find out. I need to
I
know.
will. I will.
Okay.
Hey, do you guys want a post game on traveling out of state and leaving your kids at home?
Hell yeah! I've been Did you talk about this on the show, or was this only via text
This
message?
is only on us because we got so Disneyland chemical tank explosion.
We got a lot.
focused last
We
week.
got a lot. We got Disneyland chemical tank. We got feral children left while you travel out of state. I got an
Ryland-
appliance today.
Ryland
second quarter
treated his
2026
kids like
update.
Ryland treated his kids like his 2 dogs and got a neighborhood senior to come check on him 2 times a day.
I mean, he
Well-
literally said
Well,
he got
they went out
a
of town.
dog sitter. He got a dog sitter for his kids.
Dog sitter for human beings. And Brad is correct. Neighborhood senior in the sense of a youth who's going to be a senior in high school, not a senior citizen person. Although I guess if we had a neighbor we knew well enough that fit that demo,
Hold on
that would
real
be
quick.
a reasonable thing too. Maybe, I don't know.
Being that you brought that up, like which way are we going there?
Younger.
Senior?
No.
Well, like yeah, but if we're calling them a senior, like an elderly,
Oh.
like what age is that? So what do you mean? Like 70, 75? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, 70 plus, which even
Post-retirement
nowadays,
for
that's,
sure.
That's not nearly what 70 was when we were kids by any stretch, but
Okay,
I think
but so
it's
70.
got to be over 70.
So when you say I'm going to leave my kids by themselves, Jace, your immediate opinion, do you want a 70-year-old checking on them twice a day or do you want a 17-year-old?
God, that's a really, really good one. It's not an easy answer for me.
Because there's a couple of things that I immediately think about. I have a feeling the 70-year-old is going to call us more and be more like just in general has the higher
Available.
No, I think they got to, well, they're going to be more available, but I think they have a higher potential for being alarmed about some shit that, like, don't call me. We
It's
always,
culture. It's going to be culture shock. That's why I would always go with the younger one, because that age gap is 2 full generations removed, and their idea of every tiny thing that should be happening in our house is already cemented for 40, 50 years, and it's just not going to be compatible.
But do you want somebody to be
closer.
do you want somebody to be overly sensitive and worried, or do you want somebody to be potentially, as a 17-year-old, like under worried?
You want under, because they're going to still let you know the things you need to know.
Okay.
Your spouse will not be able to enjoy their trip if you have the person providing too much detail.
Buddy, I don't think you know my spouse. She wouldn't have been able to enjoy the trip from the genesis of the text message. We almost canceled our Disney trip just so we could be here for your kids.
It was a resounding success. Absolutely resounding success. I printed out a thing for them that kind of resembled the thing on the back of the door in the bathroom at Wendy's that says when it was last cleaned.
Oh, the hand washing thing. All employees must wash their hands, and
they'll
then
have
it's
it.
right next to the bathroom schedule.
Yeah, some places you go, they'll have it time stamped and they'll initial it. I made them a thing with each day: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I made them a morning, afternoon, evening. These are the things you should do. If both of them had to do it, I had 2 squares for them to check off.
Real quick, the point you said, 72 hours there.
Sunday morning we left around 11. And we got home Wednesday around 5 p.m. Wednesday around 5 p.m.
3 sleeps, Jason. 3 sleeps.
Yeah, that's. I'm still just in shock about this whole thing.
And the girl that we hired, she came by once on the first day, once on the last day, obviously. And then in the middle days, there was one day she came twice, and one of the days she came once because she went to attend the Byron graduation, which is a 9-hour event, because, everyone knows about graduations if you're a listener to this show. So they had a handful of visits. It was literally dog sitter for human beings. No complaints. They did everything on the list. The house was reasonably clean. They washed some dishes in the dishwasher that are hand wash only. That's like the only thing I can think of that was suboptimal. And we were leaving. We left the house on that morning to go to the airport at 11? I don't know, maybe 10 something. At 9:30 that morning, we discovered that the microwave was broken. So these kids used cooktop and oven to prepare they didn't even have a microwave until the day after we got back.
I don't mean to be whatever. I feel like this is like some mix of Facebook parent versus Fox News parent, or like not verse, but like some mix of Facebook parent and Fox News parent. I don't mean to be the California is taking our kids away. Can you believe they can do this? It's not what I'm trying to do. Okay. And I'm asking an honest and sincere question. Okay. Have we looked up like what the letter of the law, like the legality of this is?
No.
I have.
The oldest one's almost 14, so.
Do we think it qualifies? Because I haven't said ages yet, and I'm not here to. I know whatever the law says. I know I was left by myself for long periods of time that would qualify for what the law was.
I can answer this question for you, Brad.
Okay.
Because as a parent, I looked this up when I was deciding whether or not I was going to leave my kids alone at home. And in Texas, there is no age at which it is illegal to leave your kids at home. It is a case-by-case situation. It's more about child maturity, environment in which they're left, accessibility to get the dog sitter there if needed in an emergency.
It has to be outcome-based. There's really no other way to do it.
I agree with everything y'all are saying, but would you be surprised if there was something fairly maladjusted per our understanding of the world that existed that said something along the lines of 4 hours, kids
Oh,
under the
sure.
age of 16 shouldn't be left unsupervised or something like that.
I'm pretty sure, according to the letter of the law, Layla, who's going into high school, who's completed a college credit in math already, was only allowed technically to be out of a booster seat like 3 weeks ago. So, yes.
Yeah, that's where I'm going, is taking the booster seat law applications, which are probably all backed by insurance companies.
Of course, that's a complete grift. We all know that. No, the big grift on that one is the check to make sure your car seat hasn't expired. If you believe that shit, come on.
The
Feed
Texas
yourself to the corporations. Feed yourself to the corporations if you think a car seat expires.
the Texas Department of Child Protective Services does have guidelines listed. Although these are not like legal requirements. As I mentioned, Texas does not have a legal
This
requirement.
podcast knows what guidelines means.
They say that if they're under 9, they should not be left alone. Between 9 and 12, you could leave them alone for a short period of time, around 2 hours. And that children 13 and over are old enough to be left alone and babysat for younger children that are left
Think
alone.
of the leap between 2 hours and just whatever the fuck you want.
I know.
Like that was written by someone that's never had a kid. Okay.
Yeah.
The 2 hours thing is like a mature, I'm gonna say third grader. Okay. We gotta run a thing. Hey, we're 9. We got to go do a thing. We'll be back in a couple hours. We're not going far from home. We're 10 minutes away. You have to graduate to like, oh, now you can babysit. A month ago, you couldn't be left alone for the length of an NBA game. And now you're going to babysit. Like, what the fuck?
We gave you a babysitting class and we dry ran this with mom upstairs the whole time while you were downstairs with the baby. You're good to go. And like you said, it was the 1 month of life lived time
Between 12
splitting the boundaries there.
I didn't give my kids, I mean, they were awesome about it, obviously, because I think they recognized that this was a pretty good trial balloon for the rest of the time they're going to be living with us, right? They're at that age now, almost 14, and the other one's 11, going into 6th grade. It's like, hey, we don't have a lot of years here left together. Like, you all are old enough now to not be stupid. Like, what are we going to, how is this going to go? So they did awesome. But I did kind of think about giving them a little bit of the hellfire and brimstone. Like, if you do fuck up in what may seem like an innocuous way, it could potentially lead to CPS knocking on the door. So just
let me ask you,
because it is totally subjective.
what
Like,
were the
you just
rules?
never know. Like, what if something completely out of their control happened and there was a fire? What if there was, and then my friends from nearby come to put the fire out, and they're like, "Where's Rylan?"
Oh no, we're
I don't
calling. We're calling next of kin, and if we can't get next of kin on the phone in like 5
Oh,
minutes,
sorry,
we're staying in
Colorado.
we're staying in a county sponsored housing for the night until we can get this figured out. Let me ask you, what were the rules as it pertained to visitors?
No visitors aside from the girl that we hired to check in on them. And we told them to not answer the door at all unless we, said somebody was coming by. They were allowed to go out on their scooters, but they had to be together at all times. They both have phones with real phone numbers. So they just had to always be together if they were out on the scooter. And one day one of the days we left, they even went all the way across town and went to the boba tea shop and had Thai food for dinner.
Dude, what the fuck?
Yeah. And then what other
over here?
Oh, the only other thing was we said if you get in the pool, you got to both be outside the whole time, which is the same rule we would have when we were home.
Nobody in the pool by themselves.
Yeah. That was it. Oh no. I will say we told them that after dark, if they went out on scooters, they needed to not go any further than the park over here. Like stay closer to home after after dark, which is again the same rule as normal. So yeah,
This guy.
Jace,
This
you
guy.
think-
Yeah.
how far are you away from this? Because we've all got similar age. You've got one that's older. In your circumstance, I for whatever reason, I feel like I would feel a little bit better about it in that the high school senior lives in the house, so we could leave the younger ones
Yep.
there. And that isn't to say that like he should be well versed at like taking care of them. I just in my mind, I feel like it makes more regular everyday sense.
I still don't think I would do it even with him. He's just not the most.
It is situational. Yeah.
He's just not the most mature. 17 going on senior. Maybe that switch will flip at some point, but as of right now, that's not happening over here.
they didn't have a microwave. I left them, and we had a bunch of leftovers for them, including the night before. We went to Joe T. Garcia's because it was Courtney's birthday the night before, and we went out. So we had all these delicious Tex-Mex leftovers that really were screaming for a microwave. So I literally on the tarmac, I texted them, if you're reheating refried beans, use this level heat, add this much water. If you're reheating tacos, throw them in the oven on a foil pan and do that. Like I gave them, I had to give them the details. I mean, they know a little bit about how to freaking reheat leftovers without a microwave.
I don't think I would be, certainly not at the same ages with the two kids we have. One, I just don't, I don't know. I wouldn't feel great about it. Two, I don't think we would do it until they were the actual, like, going to be high school senior, probably. I think that's the point. The other part of it, too, and, you know, maybe you have this dynamic, maybe you don't. We can already see the budding, this is how I view the world, this is how I view the world clash. Like, they're just like two little explosions ready to happen at each other because of, and it's like a disposition thing. Obviously, there's some brother-sister stuff there, which is typical, but I do believe disposition-wise, they are different. And so
basically, it's a little bit of a Crossfire episode waiting to happen on.
This is what I feel like.
They're both really entrenched in their sort of like.
This
way
is
of
what I feel like.
life.
Is that like if you just wanted to, you could just pick an issue and be like, "Hey,
Just live match.
I was talking to Shep, and he said this," and then you could just step back. And it would just be like the two Monday Night Football helmets. Just,
I think we have a built-in advantage of having only girls. We have a built-in advantage of the higher anxiety one being the older one. I think those two things put together bring the risk ceiling down quite a bit.
Yeah, I think we've got a good portion of what you're talking about. I think we
got but also you're a year and a half, 2 years behind in both kids. So that's we wouldn't have even given it a thought 2 years ago.
I think also the spread is this. Our spread is 3 years. So I don't know.
That is true. I got a 2.5 year gap, but the younger one is like exceptionally mature.
Which I would still
like
say
crazy
for
off the charts.
my guy over here, I think we're asking oil and water to get along without us for 72 hours. And
I think there's a boy thing. I think there's a boy thing with this for sure.
I do too.
Tend to agree with you.
But I also, I think there are different factors at play. I think that's what Brad's getting at here. I think I don't worry about my kids' resourcefulness. Like, I don't have any doubt that they could figure shit out. I know that they could figure out the food situation and that they know to how to handle like a minor emergency should it come up. Like, I don't worry about that stuff. I worry about them getting scared or anxious and not having like any way to release that pressure valve if it happens, because my kids deal with that stuff more than anything else, like the anxiety or the you know.
I do worry about the oven being left on for 24 hours straight if we're having to use the oven.
That was one of the. But like,
what's the word?
Even before the microwave broke, I had printed out on the checklist to check the oven and the cooktop every night.
Yeah, you could account for that pretty easily. I mean, you could call them that night and go, "Hey, is the oven off?"
Which is fair. And it's electric, so it's not like it's an open flame. So
Yeah.
Call
you
them
know.
and ask them if the refrigerator's running. If you wanted to bring the 80s
Yeah,
back.
you gotta go catch it. Yeah.
I remember one time I was working. I had a job. I was probably on my second or third job. And sometimes I would forget to lock the door. And so I get a frantic call.
Is this a bathroom thing again? Where you?
No, I was
Oh.
17 working a mall job, Vista Ridge Mall, RIP. And I got a frantic call to the number at work at County Seat in the Vista Ridge Mall. And it's, hey, Brad, your mom's on the phone. She wants to talk to you. Get on the phone. And she is lit. Well, somebody stole our TV. TV stolen. Just going crazy. Because when I was 16, 17, there was probably 2 or 3 instances where I forgot to lock the door. And rather than just keeping reminding me of that, the second or third time we had to act like coincidentally when the door was unlocked and the person that goes around jiggling handles every day of his life in our Louisville suburban neighborhood, that they got in and got the TV because, mind you, the TV is 127 pounds.
Right. This is pre-flat screen era. That scenario, Brad, is on the first page of the Boomer playbook. That scenario, it's first page. They're 1st and 10 opening drive. They're calling that play. That's really the way, I guess, that they were educated when they were younger, is that live your life as if the door handle jiggler guy is they have a team of guys and they're
Hot
organized
stoves.
and they're going out every day.
Hot stoves are the only way we teach lessons. Like,
Let me
Yeah.
let me give you a perfect example of this. I don't even know if I told you this on the podcast or not, but a perfect example of this. We were probably the same. Well, no, I was. This is when I was younger. Let's say 6th grade. So what is that? Like 12, something like that. I would walk home. Well, I'd walk to my grandma's house after school, who lived in the same neighborhood as the school that I was at. So I would walk home to grandma's house till my parents got home. Then they would come get me and we would go home because they felt like being in grandma's house was safer. Because usually there was someone there. And my uncle lived at home, but he was older. Like, let's say that he was, at the time, probably like 28, 26, 25, 28, somewhere around there. And so we would walk home. You remember when your parents would tell you when you were younger, when someone calls and asks to speak to your parents, you just say they're in the shower.
yeah,
right.
we don't let people know that you're home by yourself. Or
You never tell people that you're home by yourself because that could be a predator.
Unavailable. Say they can't come to the phone, but don't give any extra info.
Yeah, because that could be a predator who's testing whether or not to come get you.
Yeah.
By asking, "Can I talk to your parents?"
They looked your name up in the phone book.
Because that's how they do it. They cold call houses to see if a kid will answer and
Had
then
my
try
eye
to
on
interrogate the kid.
Had my eye on that Southward boy for a while.
Yeah,
Let me call and see who's in the house right now.
They've been they definitely don't just grab me on the street, which they could have easily done.
Yeah.
Instead, wait till I'm in the house so that they can break into the house, steal me. By the way, at 12 years old, I'm probably about 6 foot at this point.
Sure.
I'm not a kid you want to steal or attempt to steal. Pushing 2 bills probably at 12, you know. Anyway, this one time somebody called.
Rick Pitino's gonna come take you.
Somebody called, asked if Grandma
Lou Holtz is in the house looking for a right guard.
Bunch of coaches are in here scouting, taking you to O-Lineman Island to keep you kidnapped for the next 7 years.
Jerry Sandusky.
And that's what it is.
So anyway, someone called.
Fun right now.
Asked if my mom was home or my grandmother actually, and I was like, yeah, she's in the shower. And then it was total silence. And then the person, after probably about 10 seconds of silence, said, "No, she's not. I'm coming to get you," and hung up.
It was
My
dad's friend from work.
My sister and I were the only ones in the house. I was lying. She was not in the shower.
Sure.
Complete panic. We knew the next door neighbor. We flew out the front door. I was slamming on the neighbor's front door, trying to get them to let me in. No one came to the door fast enough. I opened the door myself. It was unlocked. Ran inside,
God,
screaming.
You almost got castle doctrined.
Yeah. It was my uncle. And he knew exactly what he was doing. He wanted to mess with us, so he...
Oh, there wasn't even a lesson being taught?
No. It was just my uncle torturing us.
He still lived at home with mom, you say, huh?
He still does.
Oh, so he's not well.
I mean, he's just not ambitious. But the point is, I mean, there's a million stories like that of these like little routines that we do to protect us from things that don't exist. And also, by the way, would not help us should that situation actually exist. And the 80s is chock full of them, man. I think it goes back full circle to the kidnapping craze and like Satanist craze of the 80s.
I just was sitting there on the phone with my mom like, really? They took our TV? Really? Like, just...
I love that she called you at work to teach that lesson, too.
I was in shock. Like, they took our TV, huh? Really? Like, coincidentally, the doors unlocked and they took our TV. Really? I almost wanted to be like with her, like, can you believe how unlucky we got here? Like,
what are the odds, Mom?
Yeah. Could you, I mean, obviously it's my fault. I get that. I get that it's my fault, but like, how unlucky are we that just
this is a 35-inch?
Yeah.
I mean, this is just not.
Oh,
it's
not like
a mid-tube TV that everyone had.
Yes. Yeah. Jace, what else are you going to podcast?
I'll tell you what.
So
you got to go?
Yeah. Well, we've been going almost an hour.
Yeah, just shut this shit down. We had a great show. We had fun. Brad's frozen on my screen.
Oh, God, now it's worse.
Just in a really funny position. I don't know if he is on yours, Ryland, but he's just frozen.
Yeah, the quality's been fantastic. Sounds great, but yeah, this is kind of funny looking.
What? Everything's fine on my side, guys.
Well, end the show. I mean, what a great show, and thank you for being here. And, the human dads always just want to shout you out and say, listen, drink your milk, and, check your TVs. And
I do want to add, because it's not worth bringing back up, that broken microwave was one of 3 broken household appliances in this house in a 14-day time frame.
When it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
Why'd the outro stop?
Because Rylan was talking. I'm going to revisit your outro real quick. Jason said, quote, "The human dads just want to shout you guys out. Drink your milk."
I was talking to Milk. I was talking to Big Milk.
Like, the human dads just want to shout you guys out as though they were in our lungs and we had to evacuate the sin from our body.
Look, dude, I'm not outro guy. Well, leave me alone. I do what I do on this show, and people love it. I'm not.
Cleanse our system.
Shout you guys out is fine, but y'all know I'm not in the pocket of Big Milk.
Just want to shout you guys out. Don't know
that's a thing. That's
so
a
AI.
thing. Rylan, tell him. Tell this boomer that's a thing.
It's fine. I don't have an issue with it.
It's translating Korean to English. Shout you guys. That's a typical thing of how people end podcasts. Just want to shout you guys out.
I'm going to shout you out.
Have a drink of milk.
I'm going to shout out so-and-so. I'm shouting out so-and-so.
Make their colloquial salutations at the end of podcast.
You're the worst podcast partner I've ever had in my life.
Your mom.
Okay, see? It's childish.
We didn't go to Disneyland.
Oh, no. What?
I know. Didn't go.
Let's pick that up next Sunday, right here on Human Dads, episode 269. The
Nice.
Disneyland aisle.
Are you gonna shout the guys out? Do you just want to shout the guys out, or what?
This coming from Mr. Apologize to everybody sincerely.
How else would one apologize?
Sincerely, everybody. Sincerely, everyone. Look, you are not the bastion of good grammar, sir. Go pull up any podcast ever and listen to you tell a story about a Camaro out in front of Whole Foods.
It was not a Camaro. It was a Pontiac Grand Am GT.
Hang up the show. I think we saw Ryland's balls, by the way, when he closed his laptop.
Free baby Jessica next week. Join us for Jason spelling the word bastion.